Yeah.
Hey, everybody, welcome. I am here. This is More Than a Coach. I am Rakaya Gibson, and I have a special guest. We have Olympic gold medalist Bianca Knight, who is representing the Bianca Knight Foundation. It's amazing what she's doing, giving back to the sport of track and field. If you follow her on Twitter, she always has great information, insight on track and field, always doing something to give back to the community, to the youth, to other coaches. So welcome, Miss Bianca Knight.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's our pleasure. Let's talk about you a little bit. We're gonna talk about the race yesterday, and we're gonna talk about the foundation and everything. But let's talk about you and your foundation and what you're doing. First, your career. So you went to the University of Texas.
I did.
And you came out
I
as a
did.
professional after one indoor season.
I
Talk about
did.
that.
Okay, well, a lot of people who know me, well, I guess you know what? Most people don't know the story. I really, honestly, long story short, I just wasn't happy at the school. My decision to be a professional athlete wasn't because that was just always my dream and that was something that I wanted to do. That was just an opportunity that opened up to me in terms of my options rather than transferring, because that was what I was going to do after the first year if, that didn't happen. So, I ran fast and I was presented with an opportunity. That was what I was going to do. I thought that, hey, well, this seems better than transferring after being at school for 6 months. So let's just do it. And it ended up working out, but I did not go there with the intentions of doing that.
Mm-hmm. And so you, as a freshman, you ran 2240?
I did 2240.
Indoors.
But I think a lot of people, I ran 22 seconds indoors in high school as well. I still have the record for it. I ran 22:97 in high school.
You have the Armory record, don't you? And New Balance indoor?
I think so. I don't think I don't know. I'm thinking that either Bershawn Jackson's daughter, or Tamar Davis. I think Tamar Davis broke it. I think.
Okay. But I remember when I was coaching high school and I was at that meet, and that's when everybody was still talking about, Bianca Knight and what she did. It's kind of like, it was another Allison Felix story. Someone is basically almost like coming out of high school and going pro. So you had to deal with the pressures. You the inside of this game. So now that we're watching what unfolded yesterday with this 10:54, I still can't believe it.
Me either. It sounds like I can believe it, but then I can't believe it, because it's just like, man, you just never picture somebody running that fast. Like, this is the fastest person we've ever witnessed, like, live with our eyes, if you weren't around for the FloJo era. Like, for the most part, most of us, this is the fastest person we've ever seen do the 100 meters. So,
and I love it. I love it for the sport, because I've always been a FloJo fan, and I did a video earlier, right before the Olympics, talking about love the energy that the 100 and right after Gabby ran the 21.6. I said that I feel like this kind of validates FloJo's times, because there's been always so much controversy surrounding the fact that they said no woman could, it was humanly impossible to run that fast. And the fact that now people are actually doing it, it just shows that FloJo was just a little bit ahead of her time, but that this is humanly possible. So
yes, that 10:49 seems so out of reach before yesterday. Even when we were 10:61, it was just like, that's super fast, but 10:49 is a long way from 10:61. So it's like, I don't know, that's just very far away. And then when she ran 10:54, it's like, well,
and wind legal, like no wind, not even close to being illegal.
Yeah. So,
and there's a lot of controversy with FloJo's time with the wind. Because some people say it was a zero wind, like the wind gauge was broken, because earlier that day there were wind, readings. And even if you watch the video, if you watch the FloJo video after the race, you see her hugging someone, and you can see her hair is blowing. So you know that it's not a zero wind. There's some reports that it was a 2.0 wind. So if it was a 2.0 wind and you compare yesterday to 0.9 wind, that's really... I'd love to see a video of them side by side running that race.
What I think? PJ, I cannot remember his name on Twitter, but he posted a side by side.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. Awesome. Now let's talk about Sha'Carri, because I know that is the big story. And before we get too deep into this, anybody that has comments, questions, go ahead and drop them in the comment section, and we will answer them as we go. But let's talk about Sha'Carri. I feel like a lot of people are dragging her right now and making mockery of the fact that she got 9th place. What are your thoughts on her performance yesterday?
Did I leave?
No, you're here.
Oh, video just zoomed out. Oh, but I don't think it's necessary. But you know, the internet is gonna do what the internet does. You live and die by it, and we're just in a social media age. And unfortunately, the internet took control of the track and field season, and we just haven't gotten it back yet. And they're turning it into whatever they want to turn it into, and they turned this whole thing into a Sha'Carri versus everybody, which, you know, it's like, well, where did y'all get that from? Because that's not what it. Why would y'all? Who is talking about? Who's talking against her for this to be a her versus everybody situation? So I think everybody got caught up in that so much so that it made yesterday bigger than what it should have been, and the anticipation of going into it it just turned into this big thing, which no one else ever said anything. The media tried their best to bait Shelly and Elaine and Sharika into saying something negative about Sha'Carri. They have been doing that pretty much the whole season, trying to bait them into turning this into a back and forth, and it never worked. It never worked at all. And I feel like that should have been the cue to, hey, let's just stop trying to do this. It's not necessary, but the media, I mean, people want clicks. The media wants clicks, and they want people to visit their sites and their pages. So it is what it is. So, you know, I feel like a majority of it is a result of the internet doing what the internet does. Of course, we've all heard the comments that she has made. We've seen her post-race interviews. So we know that some of it is because of that, but a majority is because the internet is just doing what the internet does. So,
Right. But I think also too, there's a level of needing for her to have the right people in her camp, so that everything that comes to mind is not posted or responded to. There's a lot of things you don't have to respond to on the internet.
And the thing is like, of course, your first question when someone is 21 years old, you can take the Lyles brothers, for example. They came out really young, and their mom right away kind of got in the front like, hey, we're gonna I'm controlling this ship. I'm gonna make sure that I protect my children, I protect, you know, everything, because they're really young coming into this game with these, you know, grown people, and it's just a new uncharted territory for them. This is not college, this is not high school, and you do have to maneuver yourself differently. So it seems like nobody did that for her, like, hey, this is kind of how this goes. And it's not to say you can't be yourself. It's more so, like you said, this doesn't need to be said. You don't have to say this. Most of us have been watching Sha'Carri since high school. She has been rolling since high school. Whoever the naysayers are, or the doubters are, because she always addresses her haters and people who want to talk trash and all of this stuff. Is like, yeah, but most people want to see you do well. Those people don't matter, because you prove them that you are who you say you are when you ran 1075 at LSU. So whatever you have to prove in terms of, oh, I'm going to show them better than I can tell them, you already done that. So it's not necessary to keep it going, in my opinion. All of it is my opinion. I personally think that her team around her are enabling her, because if you don't stop it, then you're supporting it. You're enabling it. And it's not necessary, because the only person going to get the heat is her. She's the only one who's going to be affected by all of this. And social media and people, we're humans. So we can say, oh, it don't matter, I don't care what nobody say. Yes, you do. Yeah, everybody don't say, you do. Everybody on social media, like if I get a tweet or something that's negative, of course my first reaction, I'm just going to block you. That's because I'm old enough to know that that is just the proper thing to do, to not give my energy to something negative. You just want a response from me, I'm not going to give it to you, block, and move on. But when you're young and you are constantly in defense mode, you're going to respond, because who do you think you're talking to? You ain't talking to me. It's like,
And, and it comes with the personality of the person. Like you said, if we've been watching her since high school, she's been who she is. And we don't know what her upbringing, what her family situation is. When you go back to the statement about her biological mother passing away, when someone uses the terminology biological mother, you know it's an estranged relationship, and she was not necessarily raised with that mother. So we don't know the pressures that she's going through right now with the loss of a relationship. She's grieving. Even just because she didn't get raised in a household with that mom does not mean that she's not grieving, number one, the loss of the relationship, and number two, the loss of the ability to reconcile a relationship. Because a lot of times we go through life and, we might not have a relationship with somebody and we think we still have later on to fix it. And I know a lot of people who make it big, sometimes they feel like they are getting the love validated through their performances. And so her relationship with her mom could have been a big part of her performances. We don't know. So now she's going through that complete struggle and knowing that she will never have the chance to reconcile that relationship with her mom.
It doesn't. And that's when it goes back to, like you said, the inside circle, your team of people around you, because they would know better than us. Why are you always in defense mode? Why do you feel like everybody is always attacking you? Why do you feel like people want you to fail? I haven't seen people saying, I have seen more people for her than against her. I would say that. I have not seen very many negative comments. Obviously, now I do because of the race yesterday. So now everybody is using this as an opportunity to tear her down or whatever the case may be,
But why do we want to tear down someone?
Yeah, like I don't see the purpose of that, because to me that's validating her feelings now that, oh, this is what y'all wanted. This is what y'all wanted. It's like, no, look at the people who saying this stuff. These aren't athletes saying this stuff. These aren't your competitors saying this stuff. These are people on the internet who just joined us in July after the trials, and they have no idea what's going on. Those people, next year, they're not going to be around. They don't care about world championships. They'll be back in 2024. Ignore
and personally, I really don't have a problem with her abrasiveness, because when we look at gender equity, if she was a man, would we be saying this about her? If you go back decades, okay, look at Muhammad Ali. You so ugly. You show, you ugly. I'm so pretty. He was dogging people. You look at Floyd Mayweather. He dogs people.
I think with men though, with men,
whether you like me or not,
but they get it back. They give it back to each other though.
Say that again.
They give it back to one another. Right now, she's doing it by herself. If there were other women across the line giving that same energy, then yeah, it would be like, okay, cool. But right now, she's an outlier. Nobody else is doing this but you. Now, with men, they might actually get in each other's face. Like, they're going to give it to one another. Like, Muhammad Ali ain't coming to the ring and he just talking. Like, no. The press conference before the fight was intense. Both of them, so this dude said this dude said. It's the back and forth is a part of their game. When I say they're
asking the question, do women in sports shit talk? Do they?
Not that they don't. They just don't.
But like you said, she's an outlier. Before Muhammad Ali, did anybody really do it?
Not really. And you got to ask yourself, why? Being a woman, you have to tread lightly with that stuff. Men have always been able to talk their stuff and move on. And after the competition, they dap each other up and they gone.
Exactly.
But it's a way to you don't have to see about me.
Some people who have not necessarily talked, crap, but have had that persona. I think Carmelita Jeter had like a great, confident persona, but she never did it in a disrespectful way to where I'm disrespecting another person. So there's a fine line.
It's a fine line. And I will credit Sha'Carri a lot on the fact that she don't ever call nobody's name. She don't ever call people's names. She might throw stuff out there and say, but she never actually starts and generates something with a person.
Right.
But it's just her competitors. Like but
I think it goes back to what you said, finding out where the defensiveness comes from. Because as a coach, I know that when someone has those defense mechanisms, there's something deeper going on. And when you talked about the Lyles brothers, well, one thing that their mom put in place is they work with a sports psychologist, and that is publicly known. And I think that sports psychologists, whether it's a sports psychologist or mental coach or high performance coach, I know Tiana Bartoletta talks about that a lot. The fact that she used both a sports psychologist and a mental performance coach. I think that those are things that we need to, I don't know that Sha'Carri is not working with one, but if she is not, I would highly encourage that those things be put in place. I think you made a post yesterday about someone posted who's mentoring her, who are some of the professional athletes. Like, instead of us always just posting comments about what she's doing wrong, let's pick up the phone, send a DM. Hey, sis, I'm here for you. Let's talk about this.
And I think, of course, that's my personality, to reach out to people and say, hey, listen, you don't have to take everything I say, to 100%, like, oh, this is fact. I'm never speaking from a factual place. I'm speaking from, I was really young when I got onto the professional circuit, and I know how it goes. I know the pressures that is involved, and things that you're just going to deal with that you're not going to like. And yesterday, like I said, this stuff is one and done. You have to be ready right now. And that is the nature of professional sports. And they're like, oh, well, she haven't ran in a month. Yeah, well, guess what? That's pretty common with professional athletes, with the way that they design this new ridiculous Diamond League setup now.
Or even if you look at the Olympic trials. The Olympic trials was a month before the games, and some people didn't run anything in between.
A month off is almost common with our sport, and you have to be prepared for that. And some younger athletes, when they come into being a professional after coming from college, running every single week, and their gears are churning, now they're coming to being a professional athlete where you might run 3 races in 2 months.
Right.
That is an adjustment. It's a mental adjustment to just train, and have to be ready for this one race. I don't have a prelim. I don't have a semifinal. I have this one race. And that's an adjustment. So that's why I said I think it was a gift for me that I did not stay in college very long, and I was used to one and done races because that's all I knew. So once I signed my contract and turned professional, like it wasn't a shock. It wasn't a culture shock to me.
Right. And we were talking right before we came on about the mental side of this, because I posted yesterday that it was mental. I think that her performance yesterday was mental. Let's take a look at before we take a look at the performance, let's acknowledge a few people who are tuning in. I see Emily Burr. Hey, I see you. Thanks for joining. Anaje Dance says that her "Miss Me Yet" tweet and shade towards Gabby wasn't nice, though.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't or necessary. And even with that, I saw the congratulations to the Jamaicans, but not acknowledging the Americans, because I know that we had some, I think Tiana Daniels did a really great job in the Olympic finals, and, just things like that. I think that's the team around her could help her with those things, and understanding that, hey, what I want for myself, I want for my sister, So, and then we have Madam X. I think she needs to move out of her present environment.
I think so too. I think so.
And then Anaje says that you are a legend, Bianca.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Let's take a look at the race, B. Oh, man.
She just didn't have her legs with her. She just didn't. And I don't think it has anything to do with training. It was mental. I mean, like I said, she got out with us. I was actually kind of like, oh, wow. Like her first 2 steps, and then.
Yeah, right there. She's right there. She's first 20 meters. She was right there with Elaine.
Yeah.
But it looks like.
Elaine's drive phase is so long.
Yeah, and when you look at the first few steps, if you look at it, her first few steps are very short, which is she's rushing. Sometimes when you're thinking of, like, I think one of her comments, one of the interviews that wasn't played as much was that she wasn't in her own lane. And sometimes that happens when you're not committed to your drive phase. You're so focused on, oh my God, I got to win this race, that you're not patient to do what you got to do and what you've been practicing.
Man, listen, I don't care how prepped and primed you are. You in between Elaine,
Jesus.
man, that is pressure. Pressure. It's pressure.
Emily Burr says, I said that she was intimidated by lining up between two Jamaicans. Not just two Jamaicans, but first and second place, gold and silver medalists.
That is, and you gotta think, man, like I always tell people, like, this is a track and field at the end of the day. Yes, age does not matter when you step on that track. Everybody doing the same job, so it really doesn't matter. But when you have one set of people coming in with a job to do and the others coming in with a point to prove, the person who getting their job done is gonna get the job done, because I don't have anything to prove to you. As we have all established, none of us would be in any of these lanes if we weren't supposed to be here. So whoever we need to prove anything to is not anybody in these lanes, because trust me, this race is happening the way that it's happening because this is what everybody want to see, and it's because we are the fastest women in the world right now. That is why this is happening. So I don't have a point to prove to anybody. And if I'm her, I'm already knowing, like, I'm in this race and I'm in the middle of this track. So what you think that means? I don't have anything to prove to anybody. I'm coming out here to do my job.
Right.
They came all the way from Tokyo. They could have easily pulled out because that travel alone. They ran 7 races. They ran 7. Sharika, she ran, I think she ran like 6. She ran like 5 races. She didn't make it to the final from the 200. Did she?
She ran a 4x4.
Yeah, she did run a 4x4. So they're coming out 6 or 7 races respectively. PR, except for Shelly, but everybody's PRing, and this is huge. They still got on that plane and came over here and handled business.
Yeah,
because this is the business trip.
Well, I think too, some of the pressure, like someone is saying the Nike ad played before, though. Yikes, she's not ready for the spotlight yet. I don't think it's not that she's not ready for the spotlight yet. Sometimes it's like this. Just everything. It's like a perfect storm of everything getting thrown at you. So the thing happened with the suspension. Now she has the Beats commercial. She's doing the Donda commercial. Nike does everybody's doing, like, they're trying to capitalize off of what comes naturally to her, right? She naturally says those things. She a Dallas girl. She gonna say what's on her mind, but now we're trying to make money off of it. Now we're making you sit here and record commercials, and you know how many takes that takes, how much energy that takes. That can be draining, and it can take your focus. And now it makes it to where, okay, now I have to prove this because I've said all of these things on these commercials versus what's just naturally coming. So,
and media is gonna, like you said, media is playing into, hey, this face and this name is gonna get us some clicks, so let's do it. Let's do that. Like, they're using her. So
now let's talk about Elaine, though. I think that she got kind of like, even going into the Olympics and going into this, she has not been getting the respect that she deserves.
And she said that after, in her interview in the 100, more or less, she said, she's been counted out because of her injury and nobody really paid very much attention to her, but I'm not done yet. I can go much faster. And, I had a good time today and I'm getting ready for the 200. Like, same thing. And she's very soft-spoken. Like, she says a lot without saying very much at all. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you can count me out and it's perfectly fine. They haven't been saying anything about me, but guess what? That 10-6 is a surprise to you, not me. I can go faster, and I'm headed to the 200 now. Same thing. 2 goals. So I don't think she cares. I don't think she cares at all.
Yes. So let's talk about that time yesterday, that 10:54 with a 0.9 wind.
That's the world record if she gets a perfect 2.0 behind her.
You think she'll run it again this during the Diamond League series?
Her interview says that she said that she's still, hey, I think I can go faster than that. Which is crazy to even think that she can go faster than that, or she feels like she can go faster than that, like right now. But I don't know, if it was me, I think I would shut the season down. I just think I would be done. Like, she's ran so many races so fast, and I don't know, it just seemed like a good time to shut it down. But as we see, she'll be in Lausanne for the next Diamond League in the 100, same girls. I think mine is Sha'Carri. So it's gonna be another fast race.
Yeah, I really want to see her run it again because I want to see the records are made to be broken, right? And I want to see the record. And go ahead, y'all, put in the predictions. If Elaine runs the 100 again, what will the new record be? What time do you think she will run it if she has the perfect win legal behind her? What can she run? What do you think, B?
I don't know. I feel like the pressure is on now. Like, do we expect her to run 10.5, 10.6 every time now?
I expect the next one to be 10.4.
See what I mean? But it's kind of like, okay, at some point, man, she's gonna, throw a little 10.7 out there, maybe even a 10.8, and the internet is gonna do what? What the internet does is like, oh my gosh, she's falling off. Like, we can't expect her to just 10.6, 10.6, 10.6, 10.5, 10.4. Like, this is the 10.61 was already like, what?
Yeah.
And then she went even faster. So I don't know.
One good thing about yesterday though is that it was a one round. It wasn't multiple rounds, so it wasn't as straining, on the body. Someone put 10.49, so we just gonna say she's gonna tie it.
That's a good guess. I think one of the analysis yesterday said that if the win was a 2.0, perfect 2.0 behind her, then she would have tied it or ran 48. So I guess that makes sense. But she has her eyes set on it now, so that's crazy. But
yeah, I think it's going down. It's going down.
I mean, may as well. When Carmelita ran 10.6, she did it in October. So
wow,
I feel like you definitely get faster once you're clicking. So hey, who knows? Maybe she'll keep running all the way to the final. And I think the final was in Zurich, and maybe she'll do it there.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about your foundation before we wrap up. So the Bianca Knight Foundation, what is the mission and purpose behind it?
My mission and purpose is to serve the underserved track and field programs by way of providing grants directly to their schools or clubs, whatever they, individual athletes, to help propel them forward in the sport by way of getting their shoes or batons, hurdles, blocks, whatever they need to be successful in the sport, because we have a very underfunded sports, already in general. It is even worse in the high school and youth divisions of track and field. So I just help them out a little bit and, take one of the issues or worries off of their plate. Like, oh, we can't get new blocks. It's like, oh, I help you guys get new blocks. So
is that something that you experienced in high school, that your program was a little underfunded?
For a long time, I didn't even have a track to compete on. I did a lot of things on grass or pavement. So yeah, some of our schools didn't even have tracks at all. So I definitely experienced that, and I didn't do a lot of block work because we didn't have blocks and stuff like that. So I really ran a lot. I didn't do, like I said, it's what I didn't have. It was okay. I made up for it, like with bleachers or, just running on the grass and doing other things. So I think, you can use the stuff around you to help you get better. But with everything that's going on right now, I think it benefits the kids more to have a lot of those things at their discretion to use, like blocks and hurdles and things like that.
Wow. And for any athletes that are watching, if your program doesn't have a lot of funding, take it from Bianca's story to see that don't let that be, they say, don't let your limits limit you. Don't look at what you don't have and think that you can't achieve the goals that you have set forth in life. You still go forward for it. And then knowing that there's resources out there like the Bianca Knight Foundation, the Damani Gibson Foundation, you can reach out to Bianca Knight. Are you only serving the Mississippi area? Or?
No, I did a little series for Black History Month, and it went all the way, I guess, as far as Delaware and California. So yeah, I'm just nationwide.
So visit her foundation, the page. Can you give us the website?
bkfgives.org. And there
bkfgives.org. Okay. Let me put that up on the screen for us. If you all have any questions for Bianca at this time, go ahead and ask those. But here is the website, bkfgives.org. You can email her or submit a request there if you think that your program should qualify or needs a little bit of help. I think that she does speaking as well. She visits schools, so you can reach out for that. And then also there's donation. You can donate to the website, and you can also sign up to volunteer and give your time and your services. It has her story, so you can read more about Bianca Knight and the amazing things that she's doing in the community. And I think that when we talk about, like, because the title of this podcast is More Than a Coach, and that's what I feel. I have to be more than a coach. I'm not just here to provide physical workouts to get the most out of people. It takes more than that to get people to maximize potential and to see who they can be in life. I do mental coaching. I do the physical coaching. I do mindfulness coaching. It's a wide array of the things that we do, but also athletes need to see themselves as more than an athlete. So Bianca has taken her athletic career and been able to do something to give back and do more, be more than just an athlete, and empower other athletes and other coaches to make a difference in society. So sports is, when they say sports is life, it does not mean that sports is everything about life, but it is a representation of how we do everything in sports is the way that we do things in life. And you are doing an amazing job with that, Ms. Bianca. I also want to, shout out the Damani Gibson Foundation. You all know that's my foundation. But make sure that you guys, for this episode, you're doing a lot to support Bianca Knight Foundation. Try to give a donation. If you have any last comments or questions before we go, someone says, please, someone reach out and save her. I don't think anybody can save another person. I think that the person has to want to be saved. Yeah. And I don't even want to say that she needs to be saved per se, but she does need someone in her corner to help her. A mentor, a mental coach. Just this is a hard game. It's hard for anybody.
I feel like she got her walls up. Even if somebody did probably reach out to embrace her, it would be seen as, who are you? What's your past or something? I feel like it would be more so, it would be very combative. That's just the vibe that I get. That, let's say if I reached out, it's like, hey, look, if you ever need anything, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I will listen. I will do it. I think they'll probably get ignored, or you ain't been where I've been, so how you gonna help me out, like, with anything? Because she's put stuff out there like that. Like, I think a lot of people were talking about when she was like, your personal business 10-9, we ain't the same. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So yeah, it's hard to kind of step to a person and say, look, man, I'm for you. I'm not against you. That ain't even my style to be against any athlete for that matter, but especially our young, talented stars of the sport. Like, that's not even my MO. So, but you can't, people kind of run you off before you even try to, because it's like, that's going to be a confrontation. Like, that's going to be conflict.
I get that. I definitely get that. And I've been there as well, because there are a lot of times that I'm like, no one's really listening to me. I share a lot. I do a lot with the podcast. And sometimes you get discouraged because you feel like people aren't listening or it's not resonating. But something came to me where it was like, I said, what if Jesus would, not to make it religious, but it is Sunday. What if Jesus would have just not continued to spread the word just because he didn't feel like people were listening? And it hit me that it's like, it's not our job to make people listen. It's our job to share what God has put on our heart.
Right.
And I think that, anybody out there, I know a lot of people are telling me that I should reach out to her. And I have reached out. I've sent messages. And people are even in the comments saying, Bianca, you should reach out. And I know that you've said, I've seen interactions. You've never been abrasive or harsh. So attempts are there and seeds are being planted. And maybe right now it's not resonating. But I think that over time, the more that we just, show that we're here to support one another. We talk about Black girl magic all the time. Right. None of us are against Sha'Carri. And whenever she's ready, we're here and we're ready and we're able to provide support.
Yeah, so hopefully, like I said, one day it'll come around where she's open to it, because I think that she's the key. Like, she has the key right now. She is what the sport needs, in terms of, she's a competitor. She is so competitive, and she's just so beautiful watching her run, and she is just what the
She is
sport
gifted.
needs.
It is
She's
a
so
gift.
gifted. She's gifted, and I just want her to stop thinking, get out of the mentality that she has to prove that. We know you ain't
We
gotta prove
see it,
that.
boo. We
We
see
see
you.
it. We see you. Like, you do not. All those people on the internet, they do not matter. They here today, gone tomorrow. Like, they don't matter.
They don't matter. And not to say people don't matter, but their opinion does not matter. Like Les Brown said, you never let someone else's opinion of you should never become your reality. And so I should never get caught up in trying to prove that that is not my reality. All I'm going to do is focus on my lane, like horses. Have your tunnel vision and stay in your lane. Stay in your lane and do you. And if you do that, then all of the distractions will not be able to distract you.
Right. And I just think yesterday was a distraction. She got distracted.
It was.
But
I think that hopefully this is you get back up on the horse and you go at it again, and you don't let it discourage you.
Absolutely.
Come back out there, trust your training. I don't think she have to change what she's doing physically. I personally think mentally, I've seen it 1,000 times in athletes that I'm coaching. You can run 11, or 10-7 and then turn around and run 11-1, all from the mental impact. So
yeah. But she'll be back. She'll be better. And if I'm her, I would be off the internet right now. But I mean, everybody's different. So I mean, I wouldn't even be absorbing all of that negative energy, because there's nothing positive on it right now. So I would just, leave it alone.
Do you ever take mental breaks from the internet, Bianca?
Always. And the way that I have, like, my notifications set up, and the things that I can see or can't see, a lot of things I can't even see unless somebody, like, continuously, like, tag me in it, and then I click, and then I see the thread, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know this person said that, or whatever. But I can't see a lot, and I do that on purpose.
Yeah, that's important, I think. And I get off of social media sometimes, because I need that break. I need a break from it. I need to be able to just unwind and not have somebody else's thoughts invade my thoughts. Because sometimes, what you read and what you see starts to become what you're thinking. What you, like they say, you are what you eat, but you are also what you read and what you consume. And you got to release that stuff sometimes.
Yeah, even what you watch on TV. You have to just, like you said, you have to be careful what you're allowing to enter into your mind, because unconsciously it will start shaping you and changing you. So I'm kind of like you. Like, I back away when I need to back away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Someone's saying exactly. It's been nice, ladies. I'm a huge fan. Hope to help our paths cross in the future. Thanks for all that you do. Stay safe. Everybody stay safe. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been More Than a Coach. Continue to tune in. We have some amazing programming for you. And remember to visit the Bianca Knight Foundation. We have to support our own. You do not know how hard it is out here for these nonprofits right now. So no matter what you can do, if it's $5, $10 donation, think about it. Think about if 50 people give $10 to her foundation today, that's $500 that she can bless another school with in the form of a grant. So we have to do our tithing. We have to do our support to help us help the community and continue to build this up. One more comment. This is timely and needed. Thank you so much, Jay Jordan. Thank you for tuning in. Hey guys, if you can do us a favor, go ahead and share this video right now on your page, whether you're watching on Twitter, on Facebook. on YouTube. Share this video so that it can have a bigger reach, because we need to continue this conversation so that not just for Sha'Carri, but for every athlete out there who may need to understand that there is a support system in place to know that they can reach out to Bianca, they can reach out to myself. I'll shout a few more names. They can reach out to Carmelita Jetta. They can reach out to Tiana Bartoletta. There's such a strong network of women who are willing to support women. So make sure that you guys share this video, support the More Than a Coach podcast, because we have some big things in place. And if you have not done that yet, make sure that you subscribe. And thank you so much, Bianca. I'm going on to make my donation to bkfgives.org right now, and I hope that you guys join me too. Thank you. It's been real.